Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Guide for Autism. In today's video, we're going to talk about sensory. So if you're a parent raising a child with autism and this is your first time to be here, please do subscribe. On this channel, we talk about so many things that we can do to support our children from home. It never be too late. Anything you can start doing, it can always make a positive impact in your child. So as I said, in today's video, we're going to talk about sensory. So what is the sensory? Sensory overload occurs when a brain receives more sensory input from the environment. This can happen due to overwhelming amount of stimuli such as noises, bright light, strong smell, or crowded space. When someone experiences sensory overload, they may feel overwhelmed, anxious, stressed, and they may have difficulty focusing or responding appropriate to their surroundings. So most of the time, sensory overload is often associated with conditions like autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, and sensory processing disorder. But one can have this kind of experience at any certain circumstance. If your child has autism or have ADHD, these are some of the signs that you can start looking for. One is irritability or frustration, withdrawal from social interaction, covering the ears or eyes, and fidgeting or feeling restless, difficult concentrating, and meltdown or emotion outbursts. So if your child experience any of this, there is so many things that you can start doing from home to support your child. Step one, you need to know what is your child trigger. For example, when my son was about 3 and 4 years old, he was someone who was very sensitive to noise. And most of the time, if I can't find him around the rooms, I'll have to look for him under the bed, covering his ears. So I came to realize that actually my son is struggling from too much noise. From that point, get to know how I can work with him and to overcome this kind of struggle. So one of the things that you really need to focus on is to find out what is your child trigger, what really makes your child feel uncomfortable, what makes your child cry, scream, and having all this meltdown. You need to observe your child and find where is the problem before you can start supporting your child. One thing that you can help your child doing from home is to find a very friendly space around your home. This can be in your child bedroom, it can be anywhere around your house where you feel like your child will find it very comfortable to be. For example, you need to make sure that at this environment, you already know your child and you know what your child likes. If your child likes music, please allow your child to listen to that particular music. Or if your child like any type of toy, give your child the toy. Or some children like a heavy blanket. If you have one, please give it to your child. At this type of environment, you're putting your child, you're making sure that you're giving your child everything that it makes your child calm down. Don't worry if you don't know what is the best for your child or what makes your child calm down. You just need to start from one thing to another, just watching and observing what is the best tools help your child to calm down. You can start with anything. As I said, it can be a blanket, it can be switching off the light, it can be music, or you have to just start learning what is the best way that your child would love to be in that kind of environment. A second thing that can help a child with autism in terms of dealing with sensory issues is establishing a routine. They want to know this is what happened when I'm not feeling happy or when things are not going right. This is where I go. I will probably have my mom around or my dad around, or maybe I'll have this type of toys. Your child really want to know, where do I go when things don't go right? As more your child gets used to this kind of environment, you will see your child himself taking there and spend the time there before your child could come back. In some cases, I've realized that some parents like getting things like headphones. Headphones are really good if your child is struggling with too much noises. So getting your child a noise cancelling headphone can be really helpful if this is something you would like to do. Another thing is just getting different toys that you feel like are going to support your child. The toys can have a different texture, it can be soft, it can be hard. So it depends on what your child likes. So as I said, the more you spend time with your child, you get to see what your child really like using or like doing. So in so many cases, some parents like modifying the environment. Can be a bedroom, setting up the whole bedroom into a soothing environment where your child feel most comfortable. This can include about changing the lights, sensory lights, a bean bag, reducing clutter, and also adjusting the temperature in the room, making sure that the room is safe for your child, that there is not any hazard materials that your child can use in your absence. I remember when my child was struggling with the sensory issues, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what will work best for him. And as I said, what I've already given you is just kind of basic of things you can start with. So the more you work with your child, you will get to understand what your child likes. You need to be ready to open on different activities and also ready to try so many different things. For example, I realized when my son was 3 to 4 years old, he was struggling with the hands. You could see his fingers. He wouldn't be able to hold anything in his hands. And also you will see him moving fingers one after another. And when you give him something to hold, he was not able to hold it. Most of the time he will drop them on the floor. So I realized as much as he's struggling with the sensory, he wasn't also able to hold the things very strong because most of the things were falling on the floor. So one of the things that I did that helped me a lot is making Play-Doh. For making Play-Doh at home, it's very simple. You just need the flour, oil, and some coloring if you can manage to get some coloring. And so mix it all together and allow your child to just play with them throughout the day. They can make a shape from it, anyhow they want to play with it. I remember when I started, my son didn't look at it, but I knew that it is something that is going to help his muscles to become much more stronger and be able to hold something. So I started with maybe 5-10 minutes every single day. And the Play-Doh made from home, you can actually you put it in a fridge. I used to put it in a fridge, and the next day I'll bring it, and that was really good because by the time I gave it to him, he had different temperature, and he loved feeling it cold until it becomes warm. So that is one of the things that also you can do to help your child who is going through sensory issues. Another thing I used to do was opening a bath for him. I used to fill up the bath so that he can stay in there. I realized that my son like playing with the water. So the only thing though, I had to stay with him because he was quite young and I didn't want him to drown in a bath. So you need to watch on that. Don't leave your child in a bath by themselves. Make sure that you stay with them until you're comfortable to leave your child in a bath. One of the things that I can tell you is that most of these things, when I saw my child struggling with them, I didn't like seeing my child struggle. And my vision was to really make sure that my child overcome all these struggles. In a few months, my child, I started seeing the progress. He wasn't really like hiding under bed. He picked up that routine that when he have sensory issues, this is what he can try. For example, he would ask me, he want to go to the bath. I would take him to the bath. And sometimes he will say he want to go in that environment I've created with him. I'll allow him to go there. At the start, I had to do it with him, but then when he gets used to this kind of activities, I let him be there by himself, because now I trust him and I know that he's safe in the water. I know that he's safe in that kind of environment, that nothing is going to harm him. There is so much technique that you can do from home. It's for the reason being, I don't want to make this video too long. However, if you want to learn more, I will make another video on different ways that you can support your child from home, which are very helpful to support your child overcome sensory issues. I'm not sure about you, how you feel about when you see your child going through struggle dealing with sensory. For me, I didn't feel comfortable. So if you're that kind of parent who really don't feel comfortable watching your child go through this kind of sensory issues, and you want your child to get rid of this kind of sensory problem, please subscribe to my channel, because I will give you so many tips on how you can support your child from home without needing any support of professional. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on my next video.